Hey guys, Solomon here. I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to win against the Gotham Chess-bot on chess.com. Okay, and long story short, you got to play the Hippopotamus defense. We have this move of d4 from Gotham, or the Gotham bot, and I play this move g6. I fee and kiddo my bishop on g7, and then I continue with d6. These are always my first three moves when I'm talking about the Hippo. In fact, it kind of starts out with a modern, and then I play the move of d6. Here we have bishop g5, right, which is interesting. I kind of asked that bishop, look, what are you doing, right? You're gonna stay on this diagonal, right? You're gonna play bishop h4. You're gonna run back. In this case, bishop e3 is played. I continue with e6. I tuck my knight, and then here I play b6. Now bishop b5 check. In this case, guys, if you're playing the Hippo, you don't got to freak out. Okay, don't freak out here. Don't play a move like c6 or knight c6 or bishop g7. Just play what you were gonna play anyways. Notice, though, I got my knight on e7 before I played b6, so that bishop c6 is not an idea there, right? Now, in this case, after castling, okay, we just continue our regular Hippo setup. If d5 is played, I push, locking things up. You know, depending on the situation, sometimes against e5, I don't push, right? But almost every single time against d5, I do. Like in this position here, if white plays e5, there's some moves here. One of them is just bishop takes f3. I mean, talk about kind of damaging white structure there. And if they take back, I can just win, just capture off that pawn. And this is a great position for black to work with. And yeah, if they go for a little intermediate move here, I can always just take. And again, I mean, this is just terrible pawn structure. Knight f5 can come into the game. And black here with a very solid position, a knight that is pretty untouchable in terms of pawns kicking it out. And yeah, black here with a clear edge. So bishop e7 is played, but against d5, right, I always lock things up with e5. Okay, now the reason for this is because just thinking about it pawn structure wise and in terms of how we place our pieces when we set up the board, if we see e5 and pawn takes, notice the queen can defend these two pawns, right? So if they take, we take back with the c pawn. Oftentimes that d pawn's still pretty solid, but against d5 and takes, e6 tends to be weaker, right? Because the king can't defend those, right? So these tend to be a little bit more weak than the following, okay? But all right, we have d5. I end up locking it up here. And by the way, computers have a very hard time, okay, against the Hippopotamus defense. In fact, we've seen, Hikaru actually play, right, the Hippopotamus defense against, the engine. I think it was Komodo or something like that. And I think a big reason for this is because computers, they can't think like we do, right? They can't strategize. They can't think about, okay, the overall position, timing. Okay, what do I want in this position long term, right? Obviously, computers will always be people, but that said, computers can calculate, right? So we don't want an open, crazy tactical game. We want a closed position, and we want the computer to really have to, approach that closed position. And oftentimes, like in this position here, white, there's no tactics here for white guys. There's nothing white can do to win this game. There's nothing white can do to force a win here. And that often causes the computer to kind of just stumble around and make weird moves. And then we just slowly improve our position, and then we end up having a winning position. Okay. Now here we have bishop d3. Again, I mean, is Gotham going to play bishop c4 and bishop d3? No, but we're playing against the Gotham chess bot, and the computer doesn't see clear tactical ways to improve this position. So white's just kind of moving around, right? Now here I could have played f5, but I ended up just going with bishop c8 followed by knight f6, right? I know I'm playing a bot. I'm trying to keep things closed, and I'm trying to slowly improve my position before I finally strike, right? In this case, I go with knight g4, this is white's good bishop, right? I mean, this bishop's very active. This one, on the other hand, not so good, but this bishop on e3, I want to take that guy off. And yeah, when I saw the move of a5, I just lock it up. Here I end up taking that bishop, and then I finally push with f5. I make space with f4. I can't tell you how often I get positions like this in the Hippo. With white, with this kind of pawn structure, I mean, black can really make some great progress on the king side of the board. And in my opinion, I mean, I would rather be black here because I'm attacking your king. You're attacking air, right? So I like this. I took with the pawn. I played bishop d7, and then here I played rook a7. Okay, we can't play rook c8 because the pawn on a6 is going to fall, right? But if we play rook a7, notice here, is there any way for white to break this position open? Not really, right? Very well covered, and all the dark squares are covered as well, so you can't even attack my rook and kick it out. there's really no way for white to make easy progress here. So we have the rook move over. I just keep making progress. I keep pushing, right? I push to g4. I take on h3. I take the pawn. And yeah, here I play bishop g4. I think a better move actually would have been knight h4. Knight h4 would have been very strong. But I just dropped the bishop back. I'm still better here. Against a check, I just kind of move my king out of the way, right? No need to freak out here. Just move the king. Again, we kind of have a fortress going here. There's no easy way for white to make progress. And if you take here, I mean, we just say thanks for the knight. So we have that move of knight eg1. White here playing very defensive. I play knight h4. And once the bishop drops back, I just take that piece off. Bishop h6, right? Notice here, I'm not in a rush, okay? I'm not in a rush here. I'm just trying to slowly improve my position. I aim up against that king, and yeah, here we have king f1, right? Which makes sense. I mean, or sorry, not king f1, queen c4. White should have played the move of king f1, okay? And black's still better there, about a -1 advantage, give or take. But the problem here with queen c4 is that we can just take with check, right? Double check, actually. And you know, if you take on f3, queen h4 is just, I mean, guys, your king can't even move. Okay, this is the computer move here for white is queen takes c7 with check to just keep checks and checks and checks. So, I mean, this king's just done. Just done. I mean, mate in one threat. King can't move. No defense is going to help here. So now the computer's just trying to bail stuff out with checks. So that said, the king goes back to f1. I end up taking on e2. f3 check so that I open up against that rook. And I mean, here, guys, I'm just up 6 points in material, right? White still has no counterplay. Everything is completely locked up on this side of the board. And I force a queen trade there, right? And then from this point, I just make slow progress. There's no rush here. I just slowly improve my position, right? Slowly bring my king up, slowly push this pawn, right? There's nothing white can do here. So there's no rush, right? We can slowly improve, you know, bounce back, attack that pawn. Here I push, and against takes, here you do got to be careful, right? Because if you queen, oh wait, we just got skewered, right? So in that case, after rook takes pawn, I just bring the king up. That way I have this g2 square available. Rook goes back, I just bring my king in, and yeah, this game ended pretty fast. You know, in this position, I could have played rook e2 and then finished things off with rook a3 mate, but I wasn't even really thinking that hard. I was just like, okay, I mean, I'm up 12 points, just get it done. Yeah, little tempo there. Notice here, white is in Zugzwang. White doesn't want to move. If white could go, hey, your move, I don't want to move, they would do that, but they can't. So white here has to move. They have to give up that square. And once they do, we throw the rook in. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And let me know, right, if you try the hippopotamus defense against bots. By the way, I don't recommend playing against bots for improvement. I think playing against people is a lot more beneficial. But playing against the bots are fun, especially if you have like a favorite streamer or something like that. But overall, the moral of the story here, right? Bots, including Gotham Chess, who is rated 2,500, has a very hard time against the hippopotamus defense, right? If you're playing a closed position, if you're playing it very solid, if you're just slowly improving, you're preventing them from having any kind of tactical play, the computer's just going to make some really odd moves, okay? I mean, we saw Gotham, you know, really move his bishops a ton when he didn't need to, okay? We saw bishop b5 check, bishop c4, bishop d3, bishop g5, bishop e3, blah, 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 blah. That just gives us more time to get the hippo advance on the king side in an improved King's Indian defense type fashion, and go for the win. Let me know if you play against the Gotham Chess-bot with the hippo, and let me know how it goes. And yeah, if you end up winning against the bot or losing, either way, just send me the game down below, right? Comment the game down below with all the notation. And yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Thanks for watching today's video. I wanted to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters for the month of January in 2023. If you haven't thought about becoming a member yet, I highly encourage you to think about it. You get some exclusive benefits by becoming a member and joining the family. And yeah, it's been quite a bit of fun. We're growing a base here, and I hope to see you there.